Two things that can ruin your dashboard: the warp and the melting issue. The melting, which is the worst, but mine was the warping. Now, for those who have the same car, I'm gonna show you what to do to prevent it from happening. So, this is a 2010 to 2013 second gen Mazda 3. This model was released early 2014 back here in the Philippines. So, it's a 7-year-old car. Now, there are about 2 to 3 more car brands out there with the same issues. Same year models as the Mazda 3 second gen. But some of these brands, they came out even earlier as 2009. I'm not so sure if the Mazda 2 and the Mazda 6, they do have the same material. But for the Speed 3, it's basically the same. You'll barely see it at night or when you're under a shade. But during the day, this is how it's gonna look. That thing never really bothered me much, till I came across this article just recently. And I thought there was just a bunch of them complaining and having the same issue. But there was a lot. Like a lot, man. And they could go on even worse. So the warping can grow more visible over time. So that dashboard has a clip under. So even how hard you press that board down, it's not gonna clip back. So next is the melting problem. You'll know it once you see that shiny, wet-looking sticky dashboard. It's something that doesn't go off easily by simply wiping it, or by even using a liquid cleaner. After doing some research, I ended up with 3 things that can possibly work. One is to wrap it with vinyl. Second is you can use a dashboard shield cover. That's something that I don't see myself having. They look like carpets. These 2 things are just temporary to make you spend less. But at the back of your head, man, you still have a melting dashboard. So the best way to go is to get a new one from Mazda. We all know that our warranties lapsed long time ago. But if you want it back to that slick looking condition, you really have to spend more. And by the way, you just can't leave that shining thing on your dashboard because it's gonna reflect on the windshield and will definitely hinder the view of the road. So for road safety, get something done ASAP. Now for the warp issue, you can take off those display and press that part right there down to some point. But to give you a more detailed info, go check on this guy who made an effort in finding a solution. And I give him all the credit for all the amazing job he's done. So you can search him in YouTube and you can easily find him because he's the only one who made the fix. I didn't do mine because I guess I can still handle the way it looks. It can get worse, but there are ways to prevent it from even happening. So the major culprit here is heat. The warp came after leaving the car in an open space. No trees, no shade whatsoever. 5 hours every day for 2 weeks. And that was 2019, summertime. So you can just imagine how much heat is stored in here. I'm not gonna lie, but the material used for this dashboard looks quite amazing. But the downside, in extreme heat, it really gets weak. So the middle part is usually the first to get the warp because it's the thinner one, compared to the others which are quite thick. Others, they say it has a weak clip. So what causes this melting problem? Obviously it's heat, but with a combination of the following. One is the accumulation of heat in your engine bay after hours of driving. Now combine that with your car sitting under the sun for hours. If you notice that there's water draining out from your air conditioning system, it basically falls to the ground. But because of all those heat, some are left in the form of moisture. So instead of it evaporating, it is absorbed by this spongy rubber-like looking dashboard and are absorbed more because it expands in extreme heat. Yeah, something I just noticed. For guys who have the same car, check this part here. This is hard plastic. It looks basically the same as the rubber one. So this is not gonna be affected. So how will the melting look? We can compare it to a brownie in a sense. After baking, the middle part gets moist, while the surface becomes chippy and sticky. So one more thing that causes the melting issue is a broken AC system. If it has a hard time blowing out cold air, it's gonna produce moist. And lastly, some liquid cleaners or protectants and liquid fresheners can damage your dashboard. So I'm gonna show you some preventive tips that you can do to prevent these issues from happening. First, if you have a broken AC system, have it fixed. And don't make it a habit of leaving one vent open while the others are closed. Restricting airflow for just a few minutes can cause moisture buildup. Just leave it open. Let air flow out freely. Never use those liquid dashboard restorers, detailing compounds, liquid cleaners, and the list goes on. Remember that this dashboard is made of a different material and can react to any chemical substance that's applied to it. Using a damp microfiber cloth is enough to clean that accumulated dust. Liquid fresheners placed on vents, along with spray fragrances and perfumes, they flow through the air and falls to different surfaces of your interior and also can be breathed in through your lungs. I also remember it ruining the plastic paneling of a Honda I had way back. Better use an organic freshener or that little tree that everybody uses. So there will always be times when you'll have no choice but to leave your car under direct sunlight. So it's always best to have that good old sunshade. And if that's not enough, get this mini solar powered exhaust that you attach to your window. These things are very effective in reducing stored heat. And lastly, some of you may be thinking that turning on the AC to the max is a good thing while your car is parked and soaked in extreme heat. Very wrong. It's just gonna make your dashboard and other panels contract easily. Better to open your window and let the heat out for a few minutes and let that heat settle down. When reaching home, after long drives, let your car breathe. Remember that these are basic and simple steps that we tend to forget, but it will always be the most effective way of preserving the beauty of your car. So here's the thing I have to say for those who have the same car. I've been doing window shopping lately for car models from 2010 up to the present, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, these are still one of the best looking car dashboards out there. But regardless of what car you have, if it's neat and well maintained, the feel and experience when driving will always be a good one. So if you like this video and you think it has helped you in any way, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.